Hello everyone. Welcome to your own channel Food Tech Network. My name is Anush Sharma. This lecture is in continuation with the series which we just begun, and the series is dealing about the processing of fruits. In today's lecture, we'll talk about the theories of gel formation and the defects which are generally encountered in the jam formation. So let us begin with the lecture. When we talk about theories of gel formation, we need to understand the basic principles which have laid down the formation of various theories. So it is said that jelly formation or gelling of sugar, acid and fruit mixture is due to precipitation of pectin, that is the polysaccharide we use for setting the jam or jelly, rather than its swelling. Swelling means reaction with water or to have that solvation or hydration kind of effect. But that's not what we see. We see the precipitation that is coming out of the reaction mixture. Only when the pectin, acid, sugar, and water are in definite equilibrium, the precipitation of pectin takes place. The rate of precipitation or coming out of this polysaccharide is influenced by the following factors: concentration of the pectin in the solution, constitution of pectin. Now, by constitution, I mean the chemical composition of pectin, whether it is high methoxy or low methoxy. Hydrogen ion concentration, that is the pH of the pectin solution. Concentration of sugar in the solution. And lastly, the temperature of the mixture. The first theory in the line is fibril theory. It states that when sugar is added to the pectin solution, it destabilizes the pectin water equilibrium and the pectin conglomerates, forming a network of fibrils throughout the jelly. That means pectin and water are mutually in equilibrium with each other, and once sugar is added, it breaks through the equilibrium, and this leads to the coming out of pectin molecules from the reaction mixture. We can understand it easily with the Lee-Chatelier's principle, which we study in the equilibrium. This network of the fibrils holds the sugar solution in the interfibril spaces. The strength of the jelly depends on the structure of the fibrils, their continuity and rigidity. The next theory in the similar line is Spencer's theory. It states that pectin particles are negatively charged because we know it is polygalacturonic acid and acids are negatively charged. A pectin solution is more stable in neutral pH range, what we call amphoteric range, where both acidic and basic charges neutralize each other. Increase in acidity or alkalinity decreases the stability of the mixture. In jelly formation, sugar acts as a precipitating agent and the presence of acid helps in doing the same. The next theory is Olsen's theory. It states that if pectin is taken to be negatively charged hydrophilic colloid, now we need to break this statement down. Negatively charged, as you already know, it is an acid. Hydrophilic means it is water loving. Colloid means it has a larger particle size. Then if pectin is considered to have these properties, then the following points may be assumed. Sugar acts as a dehydrating agent, that is, it fights with pectin, competes with it to attract the water molecules and react with them. And this disturbs the equilibrium existing between water and pectin. Sugar does not dehydrate the pectin micelles instantaneously, but requires time to bring about equilibrium. If the negative charge on the pectin is reduced with the help of hydrogen ions, why will it happen? Because hydrogen ions, that is the positively charged ions, will go and bind to the carboxylate anion, and it will help in losing down, it will help in lowering down the negative charge, and this will help in the precipitation of pectin, which will further lead to coalescence in the and in the formation of a fine network of insoluble fibers, provided that the sugar present is in the sufficient concentration. Now, as the system will reach equilibrium, the jelly strength will become maximum. Salts and other components which cause a change in the ultimate jelly strength of the system may function either by changing the rate of gelation or by affecting the ultimate structure of the jelly or by a combination of both mechanisms. The next theory is hindrance theory. This theory is based on the assumption that pectins are a complex mixture of variable composition. According to it, gelation of pectin is a type of coagulation in which the coagulated particles form a continuous network. Pectin, like organic acid, dissociates in solution. It is only the non dissociated or unionized part and not the ionized part that enters into jelly formation. So these were all the theories which we have regarding the gel formation in the jam. Now I'll talk about the defects which are generally seen in jam and jellies. So the first defect or problem is formation of crystals. So first of all, we'll talk about the causes and then the prevention. The first cause for the formation of crystals is excess sugar. You must have seen sometimes that if you make jam at home, may become it happens that it becomes very gritty in texture sometimes. So that is due to the additional addition of excess sugar. So to avoid that, you need to use a tested and up standard recipe and measure ingredients accurately. It can also be due to undissolved sugar sticking to sides of sauce pot. This is a complete cooking error. You must have seen once you cook, sometimes the ingredients are not completely dissolved in the proper mixture of the food. Just like if you're making a jam, it may happen that the sugar part, a fraction of sugar added, has stuck to the side walls of the container you are making your jam in, and this undissolved sugar due to retaining their original structure give you the grittiness or formation of crystals. So to avoid that, you need to dissolve all sugar as the jelly cooks. If necessary, scrape the sides of the pan free of sugar crystal while cooking jelly or jam. The third category could be because of the formation of tartrate crystals. Now, tartrate crystals are made from tartaric acid that is present in the grape juice. So, to avoid that, extract grape juice and allow tartrate crystals to settle down by refrigerating the juice overnight. Now, once they have settled down due to lower temperature, we need to strain the juice before making the jelly. This will help in prevention of the tartrate crystals. Next cause could be mixture cooked too slowly or too long. So to avoid that, we need to cook at rapid boil, remove from heat immediately when gelling point is reached. Now I know you must be aware of the gelling point. We already discussed 104.5 degrees Celsius, or when it reaches a TSS more than 65. Like we have to make it reach 68.5 degree bricks. And we also need to ensure that we make smaller batches rather than larger quantities to save time. The second problem or the defect is syneresis or weeping or oozing out of water. So the first cause out of the two causes are excess acid in juice, which makes pectin unstable. We already discussed acidity has an impact on the equilibrium of pectin. So to prevent that, we need to maintain proper acidity of juice. We can lower it down or increase it if needed by using definite edible food grade chemicals. The second condition could be the storage place is too warm or storage temperature is fluctuating. So to avoid that, you need to store the processed jars in a cool, dark and dry place, and also refrigerate after opening. The third problem is your jam or jelly being too stiff or tough. This can be due to overcooking. So to avoid that, cook jelly mixture to a temperature of 8 degree Fahrenheit, higher than the boiling point of water, or until it sheets from a spoon. Now we already have studied about the sheet test, so it must be easy to understand. It can also be due to too much pectin in the fruit. Use ripe fruits. I've already said once we make a jam or another such product based out of a fruit, we need to use properly mature fruits, neither overripe not underripe. We can decrease the amount of commercial pectin which we are adding. Too little sugar, which requires excessive cooking, could be the third reason. So to avoid that, we need to, when pectin is not added, we need to try adding 3/4 cup of sugar to 1 cup of juice for most fruits. The next problem is mold or fermentation. The causes, as you can understand, are microbial in origin. The first cause is yeasts and molds on jelly. So, how to prevent that? We need to process the canner or the particular container we are using to fill the jam in boiling water. We need to touch the seal before storing so that no air locks, like no passage for air are present, and which can lead to mold or microbial contamination. We have to pre-sterilize jars when processed less than 10 minutes in boiling water. Imperfect sealing, which is common with paraffin covered jellies. So use new flat lids for each jar and make sure that there are no flaws. Pre-treat lids per manufacturer's direction. Use ring bands in good condition. No rust, no dents, no bends. Before applying lids, wipe sealing surface of jar clean. The third reason could be improper storage. Store processed jars of jam in a dark, dry, and cool place. Refrigerate after opening. The next problem is cloudiness. The causes are three. The first one is green fruit or unripe fruit. So we can try to use firm, fully mature fruits, or even if you have to use a slightly unripe fruits given the perishability of the fruit, so it should be slightly unripe or underripe, not completely underripe or raw. Second reason could be imperfect straining of homemade juice. Do not squeeze juice but let it drip through the jelly bag so that unnecessary fibers and starch particles may not pass through that filter which you are using. Jelly or jam allowed to stand before it was poured in jars or poured too slowly. Poured into jars immediately upon reaching the gelling point. We have studied this during the process for jam formation. As soon as the jam is formed, we need to hot fill it in sterilized containers so that no such problem is attained. The next problem is darker color than the normal one. It can be due to overcooking of sugar and juice. Now we know if we cook sugar for a long time, we get the problem of caramelization, which starts beginning at 160 to 180 degrees Celsius. So if we overcook at longer temperature or at a higher temperature, we may face the problem of darker color. So to avoid that, we should avoid long boiling, and it's best to make small quantity of jelly or jam and cook rapidly. Also, if we store it too long or at too high of temperature, it can cause darkness. So to prevent that, store processed jars in a cool, dry and dark place and use within 1 year. Refrigerate after opening. The next problem is the formation of bubbles. It can be due to two reasons. Air trapped in hot jelly. So to prevent that, remove foam before filling the jars. This can be done easily while processing. Ladle or pour jelly quickly into jar. Do not allow jelly or jam to start gelling before jars are filled. Right? It can also be due to spoilage. Do not use if bubbles are moving. That means that some microbial activity has taken place. So to avoid that, follow recommended methods for applying lids and processing. So this was all about today's video. I hope you understood all the points. We tried to study about the basic principle which led to the different theories of gel formation. Then we discussed each of them one by one, and we concluded the lecture by discussing different problems which we face while jam and jelly processing. If you have any doubt, you can pin those down in the comment section. We'll be more than happy to answer them. Thank you.